The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome back to Jy Unplugged. So before we get into today's episode, I kind of want to talk about the backstory of Jy Unplugged. So 3 years ago, I graduated from Niagara University with a BA in Communications and Marketing. And after graduating, I wanted to start a podcast to kind of help me navigate adulthood because post-grad life is not easy. But I also wanted to showcase the good side about Niagara Falls. So that's kind of always been my goal, was to show people we do have great things in our city and a lot of people just don't have access to it, I guess. So I've always been the one to interview musicians, business owners, professionals, etc. And that's kind of the basis of Jy Unplugged. So when we get into today's episode, we're going to talk about expression, creativity, and what it means to turn emotion into art. With that being said, I'd like to introduce our guest for today, a poet, a model, and a musician, Miguel Jones.
Oh,
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm good. Nice. Good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So before we get into everything, can you tell us a little bit about who Miguel was before the music, the poetry, and the modeling?
Shoot. Well, I don't want to be like that guy. My name's like Mike Quell. You're good though. It's fine. It's a common mistake my whole life. It's good.
And I know that.
You do. It's okay. I was honestly just a boy, just not a regular boy, but I was just a boy like everybody else, in an environment that kind of like made me get inspired by just like not even something exact, but just I got inspired off anything that was around me, whether it been like anything, but it kind of like made this artist that it is today. But before all that, I was just a regular kid from the east side of Buffalo with a bunch of siblings just trying to just figure out how to be a kid or like just continue to be innocent and stuff like that. But just how everyone else is until they get older, honestly.
So with you being from the east side of Buffalo and being, what number are you?
Of siblings?
Of siblings?
I'm the last one.
You're the baby. Yeah. So did you pick up inspiration from your community and your siblings?
Yeah, definitely. I would say my siblings. I feel like me being the youngest, like as I got older, I think I would not become the oldest, but I'm a foreseer of like everyone in a different realm. Mm-hmm. So like just like how the oldest would be to like all his younger siblings or her younger siblings. I think I was like the reverse version, but I kind of took a fragment out of every like sibling that I had and put an inspiration, whether it was like super artistic or not, just like on a human thing. Like, for example, like my sister was just like a good person to talk to. So I was like, oh, if someone else needs to be a good person to talk to or need that person, I'll be that person. My brother that's like right above me, he's just like a great reader. He's just a good like curator of anything. Like he just puts stuff together where he thinks a lot, just stuff like that. And then like on top of like us being all in the same environment, the good things and that I took from the inspiration and part of life on the east side of Buffalo I took, but they signify it as bad, but I feel like it's like any tough thing that you probably be in, you got to figure out how to either get out of it or live in it. And I took that like unbeautiful thing or not beautiful thing, I made it in my ways beautiful. So I was like, how can I healthily try to like spear this inspiration in my art from when I'm a kid or either when I grow up, and I think that's what I did. It's just trying to channel all the positivity rather than like any stigma or negativity that this side of Buffalo that I lived in from the east side. It's a lot of like not so anymore because like just stuff is changing. But like definitely when I was a kid around like early 2000s and stuff, but I made the best out of it like everyone else probably does. But yeah, I took every fragment of like inspiration from my environment, definitely my siblings too for sure. Yeah.
So it's safe to say that everything that you are today comes to you naturally?
Yes, 100%. I don't like to force nothing. Like if I do, I don't know how I would like feel afterwards if I like accomplish something that I know that it wasn't like naturally out of me. But like definitely, that's a good thing you said that, because like I feel like everything that happens, or I think about something, or I do something, or create something, it all becomes like something natural to me, or it's something natural has happened to me in order for me to like express it in any medium there is, like a song, painting, or any like writing piece or anything. But I definitely feel that. I think I'm more natural. I wouldn't even say artist. I think I'm just a natural person that just like to take the little things out of stuff and just like make it grand. You know, I think that's what oozes naturality. I think that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. So with every form of art, it's all an expression. But like sometimes like an art might not be your expression.
Yeah.
The pieces that you create, the pieces that you model, the pieces that you write about,
Right.
is it all self, or is it an example of what you see around you?
Yeah. A bit of both. I can say like lately. I think lately, it's been more about, I want to say, not about me. I'm a person that does not like to talk about myself like a long time. Like I will state it, but like I'm just like, well, let's all talk about each other. Let's all get into what we know, you know. But like definitely, I would say for the past some odd years, like for sure that I've been, my inspirations or stuff or things that I've been getting, things that I've been doing and stuff like that. It's definitely been exterior for me, which is good because like, for example, for a painting, I don't necessarily look at other like painters. I just look at, if I do, I look at their like, I don't know, like their methods, like, or like what they, or even if it's a painter, just art in general. Like I don't study their exact art. I obviously see what they show, but like, I love like how the process and how they got it to it, and like, what they did to even make that or get that. And I think the same thing with songs. It's like theoretically I talk about love in my songs, but they may be my past experiences, or they may be, let's say if I'm just at a diner alone at night or just something, just get something to eat. People are people. There's like an older couple that I probably imagine what their life was like prior to this, or they've either been together 30 minutes or 30 years. You never know. So I think just that allure of like what the possibility can be. I think that's what I like more too, like just figuring out, okay, besides myself, what other things in this world, or what are the things that I see on my passing that I can create something that, embarks life enough to where people can get it instantly, or people can figure it out like, oh, this is just a deeper layer than just, okay, two people here, or a person in this painting, or a song about something. This leads on to something. I think art is really about like keeping a conversation going, but knowing the premise of, this person made this, and made it for a reason type of thing. But for sure, yeah.
I love that. So it's basically really just like your perception of assumptions of others. And it's actually really funny that this is like the basis. I'm currently reading a book called The Four Agreements. I'm not sure if you're a reader. Have you ever read that book?
I haven't read it, but I recognize, like, I've seen like the book and stuff like that. I've never got into it though. When did you start reading it?
Last week. So
you just started kind of.
Yeah, but I'm finished.
Oh, okay. All right. I was to say you read fast.
It's a pretty good book, but in that book it talks about, it's a book that teaches you emotional intelligence and how to handle people and deal with people.
Wow. Need to get that book.
It's a great book. I think everyone in life needs to read that book.
100%.
Because it's like with you making your art, like you're assuming people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we do 24/7.
We always do that. Yeah. And that's what I kind of like, want out of when the final product is done and people start analyzing art. That's a conversation I kind of want to have. It's like, okay, yeah, but don't assume that this is this. Why do you think so? But that is like a good point though, because like I hate assuming things. That's why I always like direct or like asking questions 1,000 times. Like I hate assuming, because you can never know what anything is or or someone thinks, or you always have to just ask directly. 100%. Yeah.
And what's actually really funny is no matter like 100 people can be looking at the same painting and they're all looking at a different picture.
A different picture.
So it's
that's crazy. I've seen it. I've seen that happen too. It's like, oh, you're actually like, abstract art, whatever. What do you see? It's like they all look at the same piece, but I bet you like out of, I'd say like 90, because people think on the same way sometimes, but like 96% of the people will be like, this is something else, this, that, and then you realize like, man, everyone's not looking at the same picture, even though it's the same. That's a good point that you bring up.
And this also goes back to like how everyone comes up differently. You know,
Yeah.
everyone has different lives and different paths. So like,
Right.
it's a good thing, but it's a bad
It's a
thing.
bad thing. It's like a yin and yang thing. Yeah, yeah. Honestly,
There's nothing too good and there's nothing too bad, I guess.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
but definitely check out
What's
that
the book again?
The Four Agreements.
Four Agreements.
hmm
I'm gonna check that out. Seriously, I'm gonna check it out.
So let's get into your music journey and your album. So
Yeah.
you dropped it around this time last year, right?
Yeah, Oh no, not March. May 30th.
May
Of
30th.
2025. Yeah.
So the album is called "Is This How You Cry Now?"
Yes.
What is the inspiration behind that title?
I think I was just saying like exterior for me, but I feel like the album and the title itself, I think like it was, I wouldn't say it was hard for me to cry, but like in ways I'm just like I'm just emotionally stronger at some point. So I think crying is not always the thing that I can do instantly or just like on command. Or if I feel something strong, I just can't do it like, oh, I know I'm sad, so I should cry. It's like I want to do that. It's like a perfect release, but like it's just not the case all the time. So like with everything that I've been like experiencing like prior to that, from that point to like I would say probably like a year or two beyond that, or before that, I've been doing a lot, like still painting since I was like 9, but I'm always doing that. But painting, still making music in the midst of that, tragedies and stuff happened in my family, just like out of nowhere, and stuff we've been kind of penning on, and it's like it's finally having the transition part stuff happening. And it's like, a lot of things where I could just channel in, even the modeling or even photo shoots that I've curated myself is like, okay, this means actually something and not just something that I just want to post. Like this is actually kind of a story. So it's like everything was kind of happening. I didn't know how to properly convey it. And then I think it was like one day, I want to say like the top of like 2023, like January, I just was like, man, I haven't made music in a while. And I kind of want to make a full piece, a full thing, instead of just having like a loosey of songs that people can like focalize on just for that moment. Again, I kind of want to make a body of work that embodies like what I've not only been going through, but not assuming, but I kind of see it through eye test and experience it by talking to people and stuff like that. They're going through this kind of the same thing with that hindrance of like trying to cry, but they can't. And I think the album was a mixture of like my life, maybe tumultuous things as far as like, the stuff in my life that like has been just not abruptly gone, but like just gone so sudden on my life where I need answers to, and figuring out like, okay, now masking that into sonically, how would that be easily digestible? Made it 10 songs, but it's only like 23 minutes. So like you can feel like a whole album of stuff, and then like you can also go through a moment. 23 minutes today, I think people like that's long for some people today, but like 23 minutes is not even a full episode of a show. So I feel like it's easily digestible. And I think it was my version of like, okay, this is how I cry, I guess. Like this song is about how I feel strongly and what's been happening, either through love, what I've been through, or like through stuff with like family stuff, or things of like in the world I see. And then I was watching the movie Honey, and
I love that movie.
it's such a great movie.
It's
and
like
I think
one of my favorites.
it's like way deeper than like the dancing and stuff. Like, and I think the song on there that I got is called it's really 2, but the song "Figure It Out" and the other song, there's like a lot of songs that I've kind of crafted behind it, but like definitely like that song "Figure It Out" and the song "Rapid Rate." It's like one of my favorite songs ever, besides it's my music or not. It's basically like them trying to like me trying to like kind of like have her or whoever snap out of like this lore of this life that people just yearn for all the time. And it's obviously I'm not gonna be I'm gonna be honest. I see why. It looked into optics, it looks so alluring, like, yes, let me go do this, strive for greatness, go to that. But when you get to that point, it's like, okay, not everything is super intentional. Not everything has the right things behind it. And then like you shouldn't be trying to just shoot for the stars for really something just easily yet disposable, or like something that they're gonna make a new car every year. So like if you want to go through that thing and then expound on that one moment, cool. But someone else from another walk of life or another thing is gonna go through that same moment too the next year. So basically, like, you're really tripping over nothing. But in the midst of that, how can you tell someone that think they know it all? And that's how humans, we're like sometimes stubborn. So like with the Honey movie, I think like her being extraordinary, just like I would say dancer, performer, whatever she did. But like her story was so like you can see glimpses of like in the movies of her with the young boy and stuff. She was a like a true human. Like she was a person that was like, oh, you are like a sense of like a nurturer at that point. People look at you optics seeing that you're like this dancer and want this, but you're an actual human. You're like a great person. And I think like at the end of the album, I kind of wanted to signify like it's like you leave when the party's over. It's like, yeah, because like you know that to your core, like you are the person that I just explained. You're this nurturer person, you're this good person, but the optics would say something different. And I think this misconception is like people crying about that. Like, why do people look at me this way and I'm not? I'm just a human being. I just may happen to just get into this or like this or have a calling for this. But like at the end of the day, I just wanted to just express like everybody cries. It's okay to cry. It's honestly for me the best release. Like I know I paint, I know I sing, I know I do it. I think crying is like the most, like it's literally the best feeling to do. And I was always told when I was little, don't cry. Until I like cry, I was like, I'm crying any chance I get because I just saw all the answers there. And then making the album is like, is this how you cry now? And I answered that to pose a question to myself, like, well, if you're done with it, is this how you cry? And I was like, yes, but I also still cry real tears. And I was like, oh. And once I completed it, I kind of just was like, I don't really care about anything from it. I just want people to live. Music lives forever. So it's like, I just want people to hear it during the passing. And everybody experience stuff at different times. So they may be at a point where song 7, someone probably listened to this song and be like, oh, I'm going through this. No matter if I made it a year or two or not, it's like everyone is going to have a chance to probably get into something. I think with that album, I kind of thought of that like, this is like a longevity type of thing instead of some instantly or some things for like validation. I don't really care. I really love getting the music out there and helping people as much as I can through my art. So like, I think that album like helped me kind of progressively as a human as well. Like after I made that, I was like, oh, I can do anything I could really, set my mind to or anything, or I don't have to do anything I want to do. That doesn't mean you're not doing nothing. It's just I'm not doing that anymore. Kind of confirmed a lot for me in a good way. I'm super glad I made it though. I'm super glad. Yeah.
There's so many things to like digest here, but
yeah.
first thing I'm gonna say is it sounds like you healed your own emotional trauma making this album.
That's exactly what that was. Yes. Yes. Thank
Did
you.
In that time realize that's what you were doing, or was it towards the end of the process that you realized?
That's a good question. It's good because I documented like most of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like for the next like full length album I do, I'll combine them and make like a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can see like the footage and stuff like that. But like, I think once I think it was during the process of it. Because I think when I said it, like, and I posed the question to myself at the end, because I did tell myself that, but I think it was permitted because, is this how you cry now? I was like, yeah, but I think during it, I think it was the last song on there. It's crazy because the last song I made on there was like one of the first songs that I ever recorded for that album. And I kind of wanted to do that purposely because I think that's when it happened, because I never made a song like that.
Is it the Let Me Know?
It's the, what is it? Life Down There. It's like the last song on there. It's it's like sums up the whole album stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did it, I was like, oh, maybe. Because I have everything written and stuff. It's just like, I would like to record. I don't like to force when I should record stuff. So when I feel like it's something, I'll just record it. Like, I need to record it this day or this month, and I'll do it. But like when I recorded that, I was like, whoa, I think I'm growing. I think I told my brothers, like, I think I'm healing stuff. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I wouldn't even be this vocal about this during like, or like, some odd years where I was going through it, or I would be stubborn to myself when not explaining this verbatim to myself. And then like, I think while I was in the studio, he was listening back to it, and then like, I'm just listening to it, and I'm hearing like, man, before I didn't even get this personal. And I think that was the first song that I got super personal with myself instead of someone else that, and I kind of like, I don't know. It was hard because I didn't cry at the instance, but I feel like my younger self was having a happy cry instead of like a sad cry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like sometimes like even like on my Instagram, I kind of like post my younger self a lot. Just tell them that I'm proud of them, because I know those days when I was figuring out what I wanted to do as a kid. Like at 9 years old, I kind of was like potent on this. But I think that like 7 and 9-year-old, it was like finally like, man, you did it as a grown adult. You did it. You didn't wait till you're like 52. Like you did it like in your early stages. Like, you know, so it's like that song kind of like it made me realize like, man, you're doing other things rather than just like making music and just putting stuff out. Like you're helping yourself. And this is one thing. And I think I had so many names for the album as well. Like it wasn't that so instant either. I think it was called Appreciate Every Breath You Take before that. And I'm like, that's kind of long. I was going to abbreviate it, but I'm like, you know what I am? I wouldn't be, I'm so appreciative that I'm making this album. I think I need to like get more deeper into like, what are you really feeling about this? And I think when I made that song, it got easier to know like, man, is this how you cry? Like, it's like, yes. But what about now? Because you're going through this and you've been through it. So what about now? Life Down There was like the first song. I was like, man, this is helping me in so many ways. But yeah, because I didn't think I would happen so instant. I think it happened like the third part of making the album, like the first makings or first songs of it, like recording and stuff, like the first like process of like putting the album together. And then when I made it, I was like, this has to be on there, and I have to make this the last thing so people kind of like have this like chronological journey through me, but like they can hear it through any other realm too besides this album. But yeah, that was the song that like had me realize that I was doing that. Wow, glad you asked that. That was crazy.
So growing up, like males are kind of like told to like, I don't know if it's like hinder your emotions.
Yeah.
And then like in the Black community, it's 100%. Like depression is
it's real.
It's real, but it's not a thing to our grandparents or our parents.
Oh, no.
So it's like, what do you think we can do to kind of break those barriers down as the next generation?
I honestly think, I think listening is number one. Mm-hmm. Like, being attentive. Like, you know, just from experience, like, I love my relatives and stuff to death, but, like, you know, I can't lie and say, like, the first time I came to this point, I didn't get a certain answer. It was like, you know, toughen up. Like I told you, my dad told me younger, like, stop that crying. Like, just stop crying. I know where he comes from with it. Like, you just don't want me to cry in this instant. I don't either. I got to figure out why I'm crying. Mm-hmm. So like, I think as you get older, or just even in your younger, like as days go on, what I'm saying, like, I realized that like listening and being attentive and being like very, very like hands-on, and not always like you got to be right there to understand, because let's say like communication is what I'm saying. Like you can't really know fully what somebody needs as far as help wise if they don't really fully tell you. Mm-hmm. But if they do, your job is to what? You got to listen. And I think it's just simple as that. Like then it goes into the other realms. Like, okay, while with listening, just figure out, okay, like I love systems or like strategy. So it's like, you know, when I was a kid, just knowing like one of my teachers when I was growing up, she always had everything in order, like neat. But it was like, I took it like, okay, if I can just see this clearly, I can kind of understand what I need to do. And that's how I kind of put it with this. Like, you know, we go through a lot, especially like you said, like mental illness and depression. It's like, we always can fuzzle it in our brain. It's so fuzzy. We know exactly what we are thinking and what's going on. We don't know the first part of like, you know, attacking it, because A, we either feel so alone, B, we either feel like we are the tower monster in our head enough to like, I can't even get near a person to say this because I'm going through this so much. And not knowing that this person is the same towering monster. You can be a towering monster as a force and try to figure it out. It's very delicate to say though, because especially the exact of what you're going through, that's kind of crazy. But like in a natural, you know, in a natural state, it's like, well, I'm going through something. And, you know, I've been in counseling for like as a kid. So I think what the emotional strength is, like, I've kind of not gotten through it. I'm still a person. I go through stuff every day. But like, I'm not going to say I'm not like new to like just problems in general. And I think back then, what I can take was like the people that helped me during that process, they were very, very communicative. They just also let me be me. And that wasn't me just doing anything I want. They're like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, what way would you want to do it? And you got to kind of ask people that, because it's like, well, you're the one that's going through it. I can't do anything that you want me to do for you because I don't know if you want that. But it's like, in that, they can recognize that you want to help. Well, that person wants to help. And I think when I took that, it's like, well, that person is not going through the same thing I'm going through. but this person is hearing it. And I know, like, as far as strategy, as far as like building a system to like, or routine even to like tackle that monster or whatever, that has to be in play. Whether that is like, it's different realms that help as well. Like there's meditation, there is like, art, crafts, expressing yourself. That's what I did as a kid. Writing a lot, and just honestly too, getting it out, like crying, like being there. That's a big major part, because imagine like how you say, our relatives say, stop that crying, and it's someone literally trying to tell you like, okay, but you need to get it out. You're so conflicted. Like, what do I do? What is the right answer? What do I do? Knowing that there is correct answers on tests and that we pass, but in life there's really no right answer. So what I learned is like definitely being an uncle. Like I'm in another realm where I see like my younger, either like just nieces and nephews and stuff at different ages. Like they're kind of at different ages too. So it's like I can see on an emotional stance. It's like, oh, I kind of get, because I've lived through all those ages. So I kind of get what part of not life, I'm not assuming, but I've also been this age before. Kind of know exactly what they're doing, and it would be less of service for me to just watch it and not help. So it's just like, and of course I'm their uncle, I'm gonna do it, but it's like I can change it. I can be the one that helped me. I can be that person that helped me back then. And I see it, and it's like, got to be communicative, got to listen. You got to let that person be that person. Everyone's different, so let that person be that person. And you got to really stick those tough hours when they really need to cry or they really need to have a bad day. Some people need to have a bad day to figure it out. So I think all those in one kind of like, it's not one real answer to say to like help that. I think it's like so many components that the main solution that is help. Like just that'll help the situation for sure. But especially listen. I think communication is the biggest key though, for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything that you said. I think it's very complex to grow up in
100%.
Today's world. I feel like it's easier, but it's not, because there are so many different things, and it's like everyone is supposed to be one way.
No.
But that's not the case, and I kind of want to tie that back into your album. So it kind of sounds like the album is a little bit too about imposter syndrome.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I believe that we faced imposter syndrome, especially in our generation.
Oh, man, yeah.
Instagram is big. TikTok is big.
Yes.
Everyone wants to live the influencer life.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about that?
I totally agree. In the cover, I kind of like, that's the person like realizing that they're kind of doing that. Mm-hmm. And seeking that like validation, seeking that like acceptance, or seeking that thing. And on the cover, like I'm bloody with like tissues around, or like tissues, but they're like crumped up pieces of paper too. So they're like letters that I wrote to myself, letters that I wrote to a loved one, letters that I wrote to my future self, my past self. And I think there was no reason to me to crumple up a paper to throw from the person that I'm in now, because I think the full depiction was me realizing that imposter syndrome. But I think that would ties with the song of them trying to live this like a Lord life. At a point, what do you got to do? Perform to try to get to that thing in some way. So like, heavy influence. I was just having a conversation with my brother about this. It's like, I don't know. When I was younger too, I've always studied like this part of it, like the media part, the marketing part. Like I love that part. Like even like when a new music video came out, they showed you the behind the scenes, but they showed you like, I cared about like the charcuterie board on the set. Like who bought that? Like, stuff like that. Like I was interested, because it's like, you never think these things are real until like, didn't realize that you need like a lot of licenses for stuff to just even do that. Like it's a real thing. So like, you can't imposter that. You can't, and I think like, that's just for example, but I've definitely like seeing people that I know, or like seeing people like just in passing, or just even influencers and that have actual like traction and actual job for this. It's definitely like, I won't say it's helped. It's done many like good as far as like it becoming lucrative, but I think that's what kind of messed it up. And I think when I was in high school, when I was a kid, I think peak. It wasn't peak, but it felt like it was like the last years of like just great things on it, like far as like comedy, far as just like stuff we have. Like, yeah, it's like, comical, but it's also getting us through a lot. Like it's just either like memes and stuff. Like it was cool. I think now everything has become super like, I wouldn't even say performative, but yeah,
I was gonna say
it's super performative. I think like at the end of the day, you got to remember that you are a person. So like I don't want people to look at my at name, because like at the end of the day, I had to make this for a profile. It gets really that deep. Like, you gotta really tell yourself, this is just a app. Like, this is just something that I'm able to post my thoughts on. You can also post your thoughts in your notebook that no one knows. I feel like the scary thing about it is we got so comfortable with just posting our lives. And I know I'm a very private person. So like, if I want you to see something, that's why I'm posting it. But I don't want everyone either also in my life. Like, I don't want everybody. I think that's what attention that it grabs. It's like, you get one viral thing, now you got to keep up that thing. And it's like, I've never been like that. Like, I don't care about like numbers. I have to in a way, but like, as far as like legitimate stuff, but like, as far as like social media stuff, I wish people got out of that. It's like, how many likes or comments they get, how many validation cues they get. It's like, you are the validation. You don't need anyone. But I think that's like a lot of the problem on why people get so like discouraged about a lot of stuff. Believe it or not, we've created and cultivated our own audiences. Before, we had to like, for Instagram or for TikTok or for whatever, people had to do that in the street. Like, people had to give CDs out in the street. They had to like show events through a poster and yell it through a bullhorn. Now you can just post it.
Right.
You can just upload your music, do everything from yourself, which is really good, because it's like, it builds consistency, it builds like artistic flow, it builds that. But like, on a grand scheme of things, it just also at a point looks like you're just dumping about a bunch of like, not ideas that you didn't want, but it's like, just because you have it at your leisure don't mean you should do it. And I think what I try to do is like, okay, if I like not tone it down, I won't even monitor myself like that, but sometimes you do have to. I've got off the idea of like people like seeking that, or like having that like at name type of imposter syndrome thing, because it's not you at a point. Like, it's not you. And I wish people, especially around my age group or even younger, even the younger generation, I wouldn't say I hope, because I also don't know what things can happen as far as like good things can happen with this, like how beneficial it can be. Because it also has changed a lot of people's lives for the positive. And that's why, I don't say completely I'm turned off by it. But as far as what it's doing to people's brains, though, I get concerned, because like, we just now Google or ChatGPT everything. It's like, I don't use any ChatGPT. I just can't. Leave it up to possibility. I don't always want, stuff like that. But yeah, that album was definitely, that cover screams a lot of that. And I think that's why I kind of not wanted it to die and still me, but I kind of wanted that to show a little like blood or something, just to know like, yeah, it's infecting me in some way. But I realized it, and then I got out of it. So yeah, I definitely see that a lot going on today. Yeah,
I think it's good that you like took the time out to like realize like what the effects were doing to you. So one of my biggest fears is actually being perceived by other people. So I have really bad social anxiety.
Really?
When I tell people that, they're like, there's no way. And I'm like,
really?
I got diagnosed with anxiety when I was in high school. Like, I used to like have panic attacks in the middle of the hallways. I was like, my doctor's like, yeah, she needs medication. I still have panic attacks to this day.
So look at you now.
I know.
That's a big pat on the back, though.
So that's like one of my biggest fears, which is like we were talking like earlier. Like, I started the podcast like 3 years ago. I should be a little, but I kind of like go on with it, and I'm like,
I know what you mean.
I don't want people like thinking like, I already have people who feel like they know me and they know how I am, and it's totally just like that's not like, I have to tell people all the time, like, you don't.
That's why you don't like assuming.
Oh, me.
It's not. Yeah.
Like,
honestly, no, that's a good point, because honestly, like, I don't like people to assume that I'm some way, because also just off the simple optics of how I look, like, I'm not that. Like, I don't. You can't even, without me speaking, you won't know what my voice sounds like. So you can't depict on what or why or how I do things off of what, a picture, or just you seeing me for a minute second. I don't know. It just, I got social anxiety too. I think it's just in a different way. I think now I've come to grips with it. Like, I don't like being around people like that. Cool. I guess if it's too high capacity, leave me out of it. If it's a capacity where I can get around and know, it got to be dependent on what is going on. That's it. Yeah.
Two people with social anxiety who always see each other at major events,
by
the way.
I guess.
So, I guess anxiety, you let anxiety control you if you want it to, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you tell yourself, I remember, so the fashion show last year.
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah,
I actually attended that one by myself.
Did
and
you?
I was like walking in, I'm
Whoa.
recording on my phone, like, oh my gosh, I'm walking into this.
That's a big moment though. That's a document moment.
Yeah,
though.
because it was the first time I had
that you did that.
Not the first time I've actually become comfortable with going into places by myself.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of times people are just like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Then
So,
you know, I get it. I totally get it.
and I'm like, I don't want to keep, like, these are our prime years. I don't want to keep
Yeah.
missing out on things because
Right.
someone, you know.
Or just you know, you just assuming that it might be some way. Yeah, it's like, yeah. You know, is FOMO a thing for you? You know what that is?
It's not.
Like failure and missing out.
It's
Same.
not.
But it's like, at the end of the day, why didn't I do it? Like, yeah. And I think that is part of the anxiety. Stop that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like I was telling you before, it's like I was a super, not nervous, but I was a jittery person, just how I would speak. But like, I would like stumble on my words. I try to say too much stuff, or I try to say too less stuff, but it just ended up, I can't stop who I am. But like I realized, like, just take a second, just breathe. And then I just got into it. But then I like grew to know, like, I come to grips with it. Like, oh, I don't want to be here. Oh, I could be here. Or then like, you ever happen to where I just in the midst of you feeling good, you just don't. It's like, oh, I want to leave, but I kind of just got here. It's like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I got that too. Now that you saying that, that's crazy.
Something like that, like I would take as a sign from like, you know, like it's not meant for you to be there. If you feel some kind of way about going to an event.
Oh yeah, no.
Because I've been places where like I left and I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling it, and then like something happens.
Something happens.
Right
You got that intuition. Have you like literally, like I like at one point, the whole day. Let's say the whole day. If I see enough signs, and don't think that is not particularly mean, it does. Like I gotta stop telling myself. If some things transpire before it happens too many times, I'll just not go or do anything, because it's like, okay, something is telling me I shouldn't go, or something's telling me go about this different. And my gut feeling, I don't ever not listen to it, because that's the truest. Why you think it happened right there? Because it's like, it's not gonna. No birdie is gonna tell you, yo, don't go there. It's like,
That's
no.
probably your guardian angel. Like,
yeah, honestly, I think like I got a bird tattooed to my neck.
Yeah, do you?
And it's for that reason, but it's for my sister that passed. But I think my sister.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I think my sister is like, she was the oldest, so like, me and her got a level of like being the oldest and youngest. I think we kind of got some type of connection where we see eye to eye on a different level. And I think like now it's like, I think that's her. Like, in a way, like, even if it's not completely her, I know at some point she's doing that. Like, there's been many times, like, I've not went somewhere because I just felt like, just don't do it. It's not like a super long talk. It's just like, don't do it. And I'm like, what is that? And then I looked, I'm like, oh, don't do that. Because I would see, like, stories or I see things, like, that was good that I missed it out. On the other tip, it was something telling me, like, no, go do it. It's not always, like, just be away. It's like, no, you need to go do this. You're doing this. You need to go do this. Boom, boom, bang. Get up. Like, it was like, it's more of like that, but that's how my sister was. And in the ways I was just like, oh, let me keep listening to this. But honestly, yeah, your gut feeling, you don't keep being who you are. Because like a lot of people tell you, you got to get out of that. But okay, what if you get in that? You don't know how that is. If I would have stayed me, I would have been good. But no, that's the beautiful thing about people, the stuff that's wrong with them, it helps them the most. So like, I'm double jointed. People didn't know that until I stretched, but it's like, it helped me in sports.
I was gonna say, have you ever tried breakdancing? Yeah.
Yeah, and I almost ended up in the hospital for that. Yeah.
Oh my, really?
I tried to, because it was American Best Dance Crew when I was growing up, and they had the one group. I think it was like season 3 or whatever. Might have been.
Was it Jabberwockies?
That was like, yeah, that was I think that
they
was
were
the first
my favorite
season.
group.
The Jabberwockies.
Yeah.
And it was another one. I think they lost though, but they were like a bone breaking group. But I heard them say like double jointed, and I looked at my mom like, I'm double jointed. There's different ways you can be double jointed, and I was like, oh, so I'm double jointed in my elbows and my arms. So like, people are double jointed other places. This you got joints. But how they were double jointed, I think were like, even if they were like me, they can do other stuff. And even I don't think you even have to be double jointed. You can just do it. It's just a method to it. But I seen someone pop their shoulder out, and I'm just also a person that just like trial and error. So I'm like, in my mind, if I do it or just actually doing it, I looked, I said, if I try to pop my shoulder out and I try to pop it back in place, would it go back to where it was originally? I don't think so. So I was just like, all right, I'm okay. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So with you being a model, you kind of have to play different characters. Do you find yourself like being an imposter with that?
Yeah.
Or can you stray away from it?
Yeah, I think I do, but I don't think it's a bad thing all the time. Like, there's also actors and actresses, so like, you know, there's a lot of people that I've seen in like movies. Like, I love movies, but I love them for a different reason than other people do. Like, but like, I see someone play a role, and they be like, "Oh shoot!" Then like they talk about like the press, like about the movie after the movie. It's like, bro, you're nothing like that. But it's like, would you play that role good? Okay, I know when to differentiate it. Like, one of my favorite, or if not my favorite actor all the time is Johnny Depp. I was just talking to this about my brother, like literally before I got here. As a kid, I was just like, I have like an old song from like 8 years ago, where the song is called Johnny Depp, and it was just like basically that kind of project was about emotions and stuff, and like how people can like be other people by the way you view them and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I like modeling. It does like, in a way, it does feel like impostering, but I feel like it gets in the role of like not acting, but it kind of, you got to kind of get in character. Like, if there's different type of photo shoots, that's why I love it too. Like, you got like, you know, concept shoots, you got like editorial stuff, you got like digitals, you just got mad different things. Like, you got like people doing like, you know, promo vids and stuff like that. So even like grand shoots, like I've been proud of like, you know, campaign shoots as well. So you can get into like this imposter thing, but I feel like you're getting into character where it's like a healthy thing for the task at hand. I feel like, but I can also say I realize like a lot of times I take a break from some of that stuff, because I remember I went on like I don't know, it was a crazy run a whole year. I think I was doing it like once a month for that whole year. It seemed like I was doing something. I was like, whoa. Although this is a lot of time and working diligently, and I feel good about this stuff, I'm at it in the process. I'm meeting a lot of new people. I'm meeting a lot. This is like the third photographer I've met. This is another designer I meet, which is good, but like too much of something can be bad for you. Like, you can, like, too much water can be bad for you, which is sound crazy, but like, I think it was the other stuff that wasn't the exact, like, just a lot of people, which is good and bad, but like a lot of environments you're walking to, and you kind of really got to be an imposter at a point, but I think it's in a good way sometimes. I don't think it's fully bad, because some modeling and some stuff that I like shoot, because I do slight photography, I enjoy. And I think like watching movies and like not verbatimly taking it, but like I said about principles and like stuff the character has, like I kind of put that into a shoot without people knowing, or try to emulate it if it's my shoot or not. But like, for sure, I definitely feel like that does happen, which in entertainment, like football players and basketball players, like at the same time, like they're making a gazillion dollars, but like they got to perform at the end of the day. It's entertainment in a way. It's not imposter because they've been doing it their whole life, but it gets to a level of what business you're in, kind of seems like it. So I would say so, but I wouldn't say it's always bad, but that doesn't mean that it always feels good though at the same time. But I can say so, yeah.
Well, with that being said, I just want to thank you again for coming out today. This was a great conversation.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, can you just share your social medias with the viewer?
Like Quo Jones, Champ Extra. I think everything is literally Champ Extra _ Champ Extra on Instagram. And I don't really got like TikTok or nothing like that, so I only got Instagram. I'm a simple guy. Just _ Champ Extra on Instagram. All Apple Music, everything as far as music is just Champ Extra. CHAMP XTAR. TRA, sorry. I'm going to say I spelled extra wrong. But yeah, just Champ Extra, that's it.
Thank you guys for viewing today.